The thing is, mate, I know how to lay graphics in, so whenever you need to stop, just stop, I put a graphic, it's no problem. Yeah, all right. And do you know what I do? I cross-dissolve it. It makes it fade in very nicely.
Lovely.
See that? You didn't think you'd ever hear me talk about cross-dissolves. Welcome to CFC Fans TV. I'm delighted to be joined by the one and only Rob Armstrong from the Football Republic. Rob is here to talk to us about transfer deadline day. I think a lot of people, the vibe that I've been getting from looking on Twitter and that, is that people don't seem to be overly happy with our business. I disagree. I'm happy, and Rob's here to talk us through it. What do you reckon?
I would say it's a bit of a mixed bag for Chelsea, because if you asked me about a week ago, I look at the big signings and I see players that have gone and then players coming in that probably aren't as strong. But then Morata has actually played his way in and made a good impression the first 3 games.
2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah, how's Bakayoko? Is he?
Do you know, I already love that man. Do you know why I love him so? I already love him so much because he's played his way into my heart. He knew that apparently this is the story, and I really want it to be the case. Apparently, he found out that Chelsea-Tottenham, the rivalry was so huge, and he knew that we were struggling for a midfielder. So he quite simply said he will play through an injury barrier because the team needed him so much and the fans needed to win that game so much.
But does that make him better than Matic?
Build him a statue. Build him a statue. I think it does make him better than Matic. I don't think that makes him better than Matic, but I think he is better than Matic because he's different. I think what Matic is incredible at is taking the sting out of a game and controlling the tempo and slowing it down. But that isn't the way that we play on the rest. Like, it was weird with Matic because he was always trying to do that, whereas Pedro and Hazard and Willian are all about like injecting pace and injecting proactivity. So having a player that's sole purpose is to slow it down didn't work. And I think that Bakayoko's tempo is further up.
Yeah, I think as well another problem with Chelsea's windows is your bench in that first game of the season looked so inexperienced and so empty compared to what we're used to seeing of Chelsea's benches over the last few years, when you've got millions and millions and millions of pounds on there.
Oh yeah, mate, I remember when sort of we had a bench where like Adrian Mutu and Hernan Crespo were both competing to be on the bench. Yeah. Like, we had an incredible bench, and obviously the depth is the issue. I think if I were to flag there being an issue, I think it is depth. But Bakayoko for Matic, I think it's fair for me to say, I know I've got a bias obviously, but it's natural that Bakayoko is the better.
He's a younger player, so and he will probably grow into a brilliant player, but it's sort of defending the title. It might have been a nice time to keep Matic there for a title defence and kind of play Bakayoko in. Obviously, you've got to shore the money up from somewhere unless you're PSG. So maybe you have to get rid of him to get the other one in. But it just seemed like you got rid of key players, and Costa is obviously the big one, the main point. Losing Costa is huge.
Right. Yeah. No. Costa is a different one. So I'm taking it like this. Bakayoko versus Matic. I'm going. That's 1-0 to our new player. So we're 1-0 up at the moment in this transfer window.
We'll see. We'll see in a couple of months. We'll see how Bakayoko sets in, I think.
My channel 1-0 up.
All right. You're
so 1-0 up.
Fair enough.
Morata versus Costa. Morata versus Costa.
Morata is brilliant, and what I will say about Morata, this is his first chance to be the main man at a big club. Like, he was brilliant for Real Madrid last year. I think he was maybe their second top scorer, maybe their third top scorer. But he scored 20 goals, he had like great conversion rate, everything like that, and was hardly playing any minutes. But he wasn't the main man, and now at Chelsea he's got that pressure. So with all the best players, you're always going to be great for 3/4 of the season. It's how his quarter of the season where he doesn't play well goes. I think is how we're going to judge Morata. And obviously with Costa, when he had that bad patch of his season, he kind of went missing, but he was so good.
So good when he's good.
In the good parts. Yeah.
Like, it was Costa's goals that won Chelsea the league. It was that period. It was that period.
Run,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And he was scoring pretty much every game.
Yeah.
And including, off the top of my head, Borough away, West Brom at home, Palace away, 3 1-0 wins, 3 Diego Costa goals. 9 points, just like that.
Yeah.
So, Morata versus Costa, trying to play this as fairly as possible, I think the jury's out, but I think Costa would have been the better option.
I think the real problem with it's not so much the swapping the Costa for Morata, it's only having Batshuayi as the understudy.
Well, that's the problem. If we get an injury, particularly up front, we're in it.
Yeah,
we are in it because Batshuayi didn't look good against Burnley. I know, you can't judge a man on one player, a player just on one game. But up front, the lack of depth is a problem, and if Morata gets injured, I'll be worried.
Yeah,
I'll be very worried.
Because you padded out, obviously you padded out midfield and defence yesterday with Zappacosta and Drinkwater. You're giving yourself options there, and that makes the window look a bit better. But then you really could have done with Llorente and Barkley as well. Sort
of. Well, you know, we let Kurt Zouma go. Zouma went to Stoke. Surprised a few people. I think that, you know, if he plays well there, it'll be really handy. And there's no reason why, you know, I watched his game against Arsenal. I thought he was arguably man of the match.
Yeah.
We lost Zouma, but we brought in Rudiger, who hasn't put a foot wrong. He looks solid. I don't think Gary Cahill will get back in the team. That's how good I think he's been.
Really?
Gary Cahill's club captain.
Yeah, I think Rudiger looked a little bit shaky in the beginning of the Spurs game.
Yeah, of course. Of course he did. He's up against Harry Kane. He's dealing with Tottenham on their first day at Wembley in a new league, of course. But remember, if it wasn't for Batshuayi's diving header, Chelsea didn't concede a goal that day.
True, yeah.
So I think that it's fair to say that he did relatively well. So I think Rudiger for Zouma, I think it's a slight improvement.
Yeah,
I think Zouma comes back.
Exactly, Zuma's coming back anyway. So you can't really, I wouldn't really count Zouma as one of the ones that's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Gone forever. So.
Zappacosta for Nathan Ake. I can't say too much on this.
That's fine. Ake wasn't going to get into your starting team. Zappacosta is now another option in that right back position. And so what, you got him, Moses, and who else would play there?
Well, it would be Azpilicueta, but Azpilicueta is so valuable.
Yeah, he plays in the centre now, doesn't he? More or less in the three.
Do you know what? I know this video isn't about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Do you want to just talk about the brilliance of Cesar Azpilicueta?
No.
Well, do you want to listen to the brilliance of him? Cesar Azpilicueta is just a wonderful, remarkable man. He never puts a foot wrong. He is truly one of the most natural defenders I think I've ever seen play for the club, and I think we are privileged to have him. I think he's the best right back at the club. I think he's the best left back at the club. I also think he's the best defender at the club, playing anywhere across the back three. Thank you. That's how I feel about Cesar Azpilicueta.
Yeah, good.
So Zappacosta for Ake, we won't say too much about that one for now. Danny Drinkwater for Nathaniel Chalobah. That is one that's going to get people commenting.
Yeah, well, you'd argue Drinkwater at the moment, a more complete player, but Chalobah is going to be brilliant. And I would have, as a West Ham player, I would have absolutely killed to sign.
You wanted him. I remember you saying that.
I specifically said that would be my ideal signing. Just solid midfielder, young, English. You'll sit in there. He gets the Premier League. I know he's played more Premier League minutes for Watford already than he had done in his whole whole career so far. But I think he's going to be.
There's another crucial issue here. Nathaniel Chalobah is in the England setup. Yeah. Danny Drinkwater is not. I know he's injured. Yeah. I know there's a more complex issue than. But taking it on the bottom line, that is the facts at the moment. Drinkwater's
a little bit more no nonsense, and there is no point putting Drinkwater in the England team because he's not the future of the England team. And with the sum of the England teams just had, with the 19s, the 21s all doing really well, the 17s doing really well, I think as well. There's no, sorry, the 20s. Yeah. There's no point building an England team with Danny Drinkwater in it for 2 years.
I agree.
But for you, it's a Sidwell or a Parker.
No, it's not. No,
it's a centre midfielder.
It's not Steve Sidwell. I'm not having that.
Well, he has won a Premier League.
It's not Steve Sidwell. I agree. There's a whisper of Parker about it.
Yeah,
there is.
Maybe Parker's more fair.
But can I just put the other spin on it? There's only in the current England setup. There's I think there's 6 England players who have won the Premier League.
Yeah,
he's one of them. He's also dovetailed brilliantly with arguably our best player last season. He's got Champions League experience. He's got Champions League experience alongside our best player from last season. I'm talking about Kante, but obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about this deal. Don't get me wrong, I wanted Nathaniel Chalobah to stay at Chelsea, and I'm still disappointed that he didn't. But this isn't the like harrowing deal that a lot of people seem to think it is.
That's the thing. It's not a bad signing. It's just not a great signing.
Yeah.
He's not going to come into the Chelsea starting 11 and change everything for you. But he is a very, very capable replacement for when there's a couple of injuries in centre midfield.
I couldn't agree more.
And like you say, he works well with Kante. So if anything, you might even stumble on a really great centre midfield partnership if you're lucky. But if you don't, he's just a solid replacement.
Absolutely. And finally, Andreas Christensen now part of the Chelsea setup.
Yeah.
John Terry's not. Christensen is a better defender than Terry. And again, improvement upon last season.
Christensen has got good experience around Europe as well the last few seasons.
Yeah.
And
well, Much and Gladbach were desperate to sign him. They broke their neck.
Yeah, and that's a solid team as well. They've had a good couple of years, Much and Gladbach. So really, given that Terry essentially was, I know he's gone to Aston Villa, but he's
pretty much retired. Premier League,
sort of
retired from the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. Getting in Christensen as replacement, yeah, great. Solid defender, and looks, for someone like Conte, looks like an ideal defender because he's comfortable with the ball at his feet. And sometimes in England they're a little bit hard to come by. A solid defender is comfortable passing as well.
Yeah,
Christensen looks technically good as well as just reliable.
Couldn't agree more. Rob, thank you so much for talking that through with us.
My pleasure.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the subscribe button and do us a favour, comment below, let me know, do you agree with these points raised? I'm actually going to throw another one in, just thought about it. Masonda has taken Loftus-Cheek's place. Masonda brings something a little bit different to us going forward. Again, I think that's important. In fact, while I'm at it, Asmir Begovic leaving can make a case for a Willy Caballero as well. So I think that it's actually been a pretty positive window.
Such an optimist.
I'm trying to be. I just don't think it's doom and gloom. So if you enjoyed this video, please comment below, let us know why. Do you agree? And make sure you follow this man on Twitter. His name is @RobArmstrong_WH. Got any champions?